Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopi Jana Bala Ma Giri Bharadhaji Gopi Jana Bala Ba Giri Bharadhaji Yasodanandana Braja Jana Randana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tera Panachate Yamuna Tera Panachate Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopi Jana Balaba Iri Paradahote. Gopinana Malaba. Iri Paradahote. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachade. Yamuna Tira Banachade. Jaya Radhu Madhava Kunya Bihahute. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihahute. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramahansa. Also tell us that to Shimad, His Divine Grace, Abhaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Brahmasay Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopadas Sayam Mukunda Radha Kunda. Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavanam Ki Jai. Maturidam Ki Jai. Jagannath Swami Ki Jai. Munamai Ki Jai. Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai. Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste, Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharni, Nivasesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Shatarni. So, before going on to Bhagavatam class, I want to mention today is actually a very special day on the Vaishnava calendar, and it's called the Janu Saptami. So I'm going to describe what it is. So Saptami means 7. So Janu Saptami is the 7th day of Janu Maharaj. So why is it such a special day? It's the day that the Ganges actually arrived on the Earth planet. So, here's the story. So, Om Gana Timiranda Shah Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Meditam Yena Tasmai Shikarve Namaha. So, previously we know the Ganges was in the heavenly planets, and that was brought to the heavenly planets by Lord Vamanadev, who kicked a hole in the shell of the universe, and then the Ganges entered in. So anyway, this is the story of how the Ganges came to the Earth planet. Once upon a time, there was a king named Bahuka. He was not low class. He was a king, and he had many, many wives. This is also a story about why one should not have many wives. So he had many wives, and he died, and only one of his wives was pregnant. And the others got really angry, and they poisoned the mother, so she would actually give birth to a dead child, but the child actually was born with poison, and therefore the child was known as Sagara. That means the person who was born with poison. And so this Sagara had two wives, and his wives' were named Sumati and Keshini, and they worshiped Lord Shiva to get good children. So Sumati gave birth to a lump of flesh, which was like a pumpkin, and there was a voice from the ether who said, divide this flesh up into different parts, 60,000 parts, and you have 60,000 sons. So she had 60,000 sons who were all very evil, and they were very offensive. They could fly in the sky. And so this king, Sagara, he was doing a horse sacrifice, and as he was doing a horse sacrifice, Indra kept coming down and stealing the horse. Because Indra, we know, gets very upset when someone is doing a lot of horse sacrifices, because that means, according to his estimation, that that person wants to take over the heavenly planets. Because anyone who could do 100 horse sacrifices can become Indra. So, of course, in most cases, the sages are not interested in becoming Indra, so Indra sort of wastes his time. And sometimes he's successful, and usually he sends down dancing girls. In this particular case, he kept stealing the horse. So Sagara sent his 60,000 sons to look for the horse. And they dug a hole in the ocean bed, and finally they came and they found the horse in the ashram of Kapila Muni. And they thought Kapila Muni had stolen the horse. They got angry with him. Because they got angry with him, their own offensive mentality burnt them to ashes. So there was another son of Sagara, actually the son of the wife called Keshini, and his name was Asamanjana. And he was very, very cruel, but actually he was just acting as if he was cruel so that he would be rejected and can take sannyas. So what happened? Sometimes you see this, that someone will act like they're stupid or cruel or whatever, so people won't bother them anymore. Like in Jata Yoga. So he's very cruel, and he was killing all of his friends. And his father Sagara said, I banish you from the kingdom. And so he said thank you very much to his father, and he brought all of his friends back to life by his mystic powers. So this Asamanjana, after he took sannyas, he had a son from his previous marriage before he took sannyas. His name was Amsuman, who went searching for the horse. And he found the horse in Kapila Dev's ashram, and he also saw all of his uncle's ashes there at the same time. And he had a good attitude towards Lord Kapila Dev. He prayed, and the horse got the horse back. He circumambulated Lord Kapila Dev. And Garuda, who was also there, the horse, the carrier of the Supreme Personality, the swan carrier of the Lord, also advised this Amsuman that you should save your uncles by bringing the Ganges water. Okay. So Amsuman began to engage in so many austerities, but he wasn't successful. And then he had a son named Dilipa, who also engaged in austerities, and he wasn't successful. And Dilipa had a son named Bhagiratha. And for 1,000 celestial years, imagine the dedication to saving your great-great-uncles. I don't know if I'd be that dedicated. I'd just say let them go to whatever. So for 1,000 celestial years, but he was instructed, Amsuman was actually instructed by Lord Kapila Dev, so therefore he took this very seriously. So 1,000 celestial years, Bhagirath performed austerities. The Ganga Devi appeared before him along with Lord Brahma, and she said, I don't really want to come down to the earth planet because of two different reasons. One is that I'm so forceful when I'm coming down to the Earth planet, I'm going to pierce through the Earth and destroy the Earth. And the other reason is that all these sinful rascals are going to bathe in me. And when they bathe in me, they're going to dump off all their karma. So Bhagirath answered her objections by saying that he would pray to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva would break her fall. And also, he said, pure devotees would also bathe in the Ganges and purify the Ganges. And as we know, wherever there is a pure devotee, or even where a pure devotee has lived, that place is a holy place, and that place can purify one. Just like in many places in ISKCON, we have the original bedroom or original paraphernalia of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. I know in Atlanta Temple, when I used to be the GBC there, I would sometimes rest on the floor, sleep at night. That wasn't a bedroom for me, but sleep at night in Srila Prabhupada's room where Srila Prabhupada had stayed, and I would have dreams of Srila Prabhupada. Because these places are very, very powerful. Even when I was a new devotee, this was in Chicago, I would sometimes guard the deities by sleeping not in the deity room, but right next to the deity room. And I would actually have dreams of Radha and Krishna at night. I'm sure Krishna Priya had similar experiences, right? When you were sleeping right next to Radha Golokananda. So anybody who wants to have instant realization, there's an opportunity for you to guard the deities at night. I mean, these places are very powerful. What's that? I don't think you all do that. This is an austerity, but so these holy places are very, very powerful, very, very powerful. And they're made holy places by the presence of the Supreme Lord and His pure devotees. So anyway, Bhagirath performed austerities, and the Ganges came down and went into Lord Shiva's head, and Lord Shiva got really angry at the Ganges because she was very prideful. So he kept her in his hair for many years, not just a short time. Bhagirath prayed again, and the 7 streams came from Lord Shiva's head. And Bhagirath was driving his chariot before the streams, and this is why it's called Janu Saptami, that the sage Janu was actually in his hermitage, and he saw this big, flood coming at him, and he got really angry. And so he drank in one sip. And the demigods prayed to him. And there's actually 2 different stories. One is that he let her out through his ear. Another one, he let it out through his mouth. Anyway, there's 2 different stories that sometimes the acharyas describe it happened in 2 different kalpas. So, anyway, then he let the Ganges out. She flowed to the Ganga Sagara. Actually, Sagara, that means where the ocean, the Ganges meets the ocean. And then the sons of Sagara were actually immersed, or at least their ashes were immersed. And they went to the heavenly planets just by being immersed. And even though they were actually evil. It's interesting, isn't it? There's 60,000 of them, and they were actually quite evil and offensive. So they went to the heavenly planets. Of course, going to the heavenly planets is not the goal of Krishna consciousness. It's not a permanent situation. So, anyway, that's the story. And the Ganges, of course, is extremely pure. It's considered by the scientists who have tested it to be a bacteriophage, which means gets rid of bad bacteria. And the source on the Earth planet is known as Gomukh, which means the mouth of the cow. And many devotees go there. It's situated in the Bhagirath Glacier, 14,000 feet above sea level. So that's Janu Saptami, and we'll go on to the Bhagavatam now. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. All right. 10th canto, 51st chapter, text 56. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad Visvijashisha Isha Sarvato Rajas Tama Sattva Gunanubandana Niranjanam Nirgunam Odvayam Param Twam Yapte Matram Purusham Rajam Yaham. Tasmat Vishvijanisha Isha Sarvato Vishvijanisha Sarvato Rajastama Sattva Gunanubandana Niranjanam Nirgunam Advayam Param Tvam Yapti Matram Purusham Rajam Yaham. Tasmat Vrishajashisha Hisha Sarvato Rajastama Sattva Gunanubandana Niranjanam Nirgunam Advayam Param Tvam Yapti Matram Purusham Vijam Yaham. Tasmat Vrishajashisha Hisha Sarvato Rajastama Sattva Gunanubandana Niranjanam Nirgunam Advayam Param Tvam Yapti Matram Purusham Vrajam Yaham. Okay. Ladies. Okay. Tasmat, therefore, Vishraja, putting aside, Ashisha, desirable objects, Isha, O Lord, Sarvata, entirely, Raja, with passion, Tama, ignorance, Sattva, and goodness, Guna, the material modes, Anubandana, entangled, Niranjanam, free from mundane designations, Nirgunam, transcendental to the material modes. Advayam, non-dual. Param, supreme. Tvam, you. Agyaptimatram, pure knowledge. Purusham, the original person. Prajami, am approaching. Aham, I. Translation. Therefore, O Lord, having put aside all objects of material desire, which are bound to the modes of passion, ignorance, and goodness, I am approaching you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for shelter. You are not covered by mundane designations. Rather, you are the Supreme Absolute Truth, full in pure knowledge, and transcendental to the material modes. So you can repeat, therefore, O Lord, having put aside all objects of material desire, which are bound to the modes of passion, ignorance, and goodness, I am approaching you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for shelter. You are not covered by mundane designations. Rather, you are the Supreme Absolute Truth, full in pure knowledge, and transcendental to the material modes. So, purport by the followers of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The word Nirgunam here indicates that the Lord's existence is beyond the qualities of material nature. One might argue that Lord Krishna's body is made of material nature, but here the word Advayam refutes that argument. There is no duality in Lord Krishna's existence. His eternal spiritual body is Krishna, and Krishna is God. So, before reading the commentaries of the Acharyas, I just want to mention this word, Advayam. Dvayam being dual, Advayam means non-dual. Just like the word Dvaita means dual, and Advaita means one. So just like Mother Sachi, she used to accuse Advaita Acharya of being Dvaita. Means dual in terms of two-faced. You know, a politician. So we can say about all of our mundane, modern politicians, they're all Dvaita. They're all dual. They're all two-faced. So anyway, so Advaya means there's no difference. No difference between the self and the body, no difference between his desires and his self. No, everything about the Lord is Advayam. And basically everything about us is Dvayam, right? I was thinking about this. We look at the devotees and, just like I look at Ishwara. Where is he? There he is. And I think, what a nice young man. But he's not. Isn't it? I mean, all of my thought processes when I look at someone are all based upon duality, isn't it? What a nice young man. I look at some of the old ladies, what nice old... sorry. It's just like, when are we going to get rid of this, designations and upadis, which are described here, Sarvapati, Vinir Mukdan, Tatpat, Twain, and Yamilam, Rishikeno, Rishikesha, Savanam, Bhakti, Uchate. And the only way to get rid of these is to get rid of the influence of the modes of nature. And the only way to get rid of the influence of the modes of nature is not to try to get rid of the influence of the modes of nature, but to be established in Vishuddha Sattva. Mamchiyo Vyabhicharana Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samati Chaitan Brahma Bhuya Kalpate. So, oftentimes we try to become detached from this duality by just, being really gross about the duality, just like I was It wasn't gross in a bad sense, but just describing how we should be detached from this, that he's not this. And that sort of approach is not productive. Because I could say, you're not the body, you're not a young man, you're not an American. Okay, fine. What does that do for me? It doesn't do much for me. But when I try to understand who I am, and the way we understand who we are is by the cleansing process of chanting. So let me read the commentaries of the Acharyas, which are quite interesting in this regard. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, in this verse, Muchu Kunda, most devotees call him Muchi Kunda, but it's like Muchu Kunda, it's not Mucha Kunda, it's Muchu Kunda, clarifies his desirelessness for all objects of the world. Having given up relation with Sattvagun and Rajat and Tamagunas, I also give up liberation related to Sattvagun, which causes jnana. I pray for bhakti, which consists of service to your lotus feet, which is beyond the three gunas. The 11th chapter of the Gita states that bhakti is beyond the three modes. I attain you, Rajami, you as a person, Purusham. What is that verse in the 11th chapter of the Gita that says bhakti is the three modes? I was looking for that verse yesterday. I couldn't find it. What? Well, what is this translation of verse? Yeah, I understand that, but that it doesn't say that bhakti is beyond, that specifically bhakti is beyond the three modes. I think it's not in the 11th chapter. It's Amam Chiyo Bhyabhacharana Bhakti Yogena, but which isn't in the 11th chapter. Yes, but so I couldn't find a verse in the 11th chapter that states specifically that bhakti is beyond the three modes. Anyway, I attain you, Brajami, you as a person, Purusham. But some say that my form as a person is Brahman covered by Maya. No, you are without gunas, nirguna, without covering, niranjana. Yes, this is Krishna. Yes, I may be without gunas, but some people say that my body is made of the gunas. You and your body are not different. Advayam. You are your body. What is the nature of that body? It is Chit Swarupa Brahman, Gyapti Matram. Another meaning, because the world is made of your energy, it is not different from you, Advaya. But you, by your Swarup Shakti, are a body of pure knowledge. So, a little bit of a Chincha Beta Beta top, well, the world is not different from Krishna, but different simultaneously. But Krishna is absolutely the same as his body, as his mind, as his desires. And Jiva Goswami comments, I reject all results completely, even liberation, which are contrary to serving your feet. Even jnana is in sattva, and therefore a cause of knowledge. Bondage. Service to your feet, however, is beyond the gunas. And then he quotes from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that faith in Atma, that means the soul, or sometimes the super soul, is in sattva. Faith in the prescribed karmas is in rajas. Faith in irreligious activities is in tamas. But faith in my devotional service is beyond the gunas. So it's interesting in the purport. Wait a second. Let's go back here. Anyway. I surrender to you, the Lord, Purusham, the form of condensed knowledge, Yapti Matram, since you are spotless because you are beyond the gunas. Since you are Advayam, I surrender to you, Swayam Bhagavan, who have appeared in this form before me. This meaning is consistent with other statements in the Bhagavatam. Satyam Param Dhimahi. Of course, that's first verse of the Bhagavatam. I meditate upon the Lord known as Satya. That's Bhagavatam 111. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Of all the forms mentioned, Krishna is the perfect manifestation of all qualities. Oops. That's from. So Ajo Vatara Purusha Mahavishnu is an expansion of the Lord in the spiritual sky. But what is the use of, here's the 10th canto. What is the use of knowing all these individual vibhuti, 10th chapter of the Gita, Arjuna? Please understand, by just one portion of myself, I am firmly established in this universe. According to the Gita, the Antaryami is known as Paramatma. Pure devotees worship you, the Supreme Lord, by conceiving of you in the threefold form, comprising the living entities, the material elements that constitute the living entities' bodies, and the controlling deities of those elements. Krishna is Gyapti Matram, or the Brahman spread everywhere as consciousness alone. The one form of Bhagavan also perceived as Brahman, consciousness alone, as the Paramatma, the Purusha, by different practices performed by different practitioners. That's from the Bhagavatam 3:32-26. And then a famous verse, Vedanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. The knowers of this truth, Advayam Jnanam, the supreme conscious being, the knowers of this truth call this truth, Advayam Jnanam, the supreme conscious being, who is called Brahman by the Jnanis, Paramatma by the yogis, and Bhagavan by the devotees. You're beyond Maya in these three forms. You're without upadis, situated in your swarup with no coverings. As Bhagavan and Paramatma, you're without qualities beyond the material gunas, but having spiritual qualities which are part of your swarup. Quite lengthy purport. All superior qualities which are eternal, such as equality to all beings and attachment to my devotee, reside in me. I am beyond the material gunas and not dependent on material qualities, and am the devotee's friend, giving love to them. That's from the Bhagavatam 11:13-40. You have no one equal or superior to you, and nothing different from you. Though you are conscious alone, your Swarup Shakti can be realized, since it is the nature of the Lord. The Lord Ikshatir Nashavan. The Lord is expressed through words in the Brahma Sutra 115. According to the commentary, he who is in knowledge personified does not need jnana sadhana for realization. His very nature is revelation. Therefore, he does not depend on a sadhana to be revealed. The scriptures clearly state this in regard to Bhagavan and Paramatma. And then another famous verse in the Upanishads, Natasha Karyam Karnam Chavidyate, Natatsamas Chajadi Kasha Drishyate, Parasha Shaktir Vidaiva Shrite Svabhavaki Yana Balak Kuryacha. That's from the Svetasvatara Upanishad. He has no body and no senses. No one is equal to him or higher. His supreme power is manifold. His actions are naturally revealed with knowledge and strength. And then there's also the verse from the Shvetasvatara Upanishad, Apanipado Javano Grahita. He is without hands and feet, but quickly accepts what is offered. The Lord reveals his form to whomever he chooses. That's from the Mundaka Upanishad. Or he is completely attractive, Niranjanam. He increases Gunayati unlimitedly with distribution of bhakti. He is without rivals, Advayam. Interesting meaning of the word Advayam. There's no second to him, or without anybody who can, second to him. One of his portions, matram, is Brahman, Gyapti. You are eternity, knowledge, and bliss with unlimited shaktis in human form. I approach you as my object of service. Wow. And finally, Sanatan Goswami's commentary. I reject all results completely, even liberation, which are contrary to serving your feet. Even jnana is in sattva, and therefore a cause of bondage. I surrender to you alone, Advayam. That's another meaning of the word Advayam. Interesting. So many different meanings, Advayam. I'm not surrendering, Dvayam, Dvaita, or Dvayam means two. So you alone, Advayam, am I surrendering to. Why? You are the Supreme Lord, Param Purusham, or the Supreme Person. Therefore, you have unlimited qualities, Nirguna, or you expand unlimitedly by spreading bhakti. Therefore, it's interesting. Unlimited qualities. You expand unlimitedly by spreading bhakti. Therefore, you are continually attractive, Niranjanam. Since you are pure knowledge, you are awareness itself with no dependence on another source of knowledge. I approach you, let others accept other results. Oh, I have a great longing for a long time. I cannot give that for which you take shelter of me. You are capable of giving everything, Isha, or you know more than that, than what is to be known from other sources, Gyapti Matram. You can give me more than what is requested, Isha. So, I don't have anything to say about this, so I think this is quite extensive. Any questions or comments? Yes. On their ashes, not on their head. Yeah. They didn't go back to Godhead, no. No, the seed of their desires doesn't get burnt out, but their karma was eradicated. So at least for some time, they went to the heavenly planets, and then Shanai Punya Marcha Lokam Vishanti. Then you come back. You get Mother Irma, you have a question. Yeah, Janavi. Yeah, that's right. Why is it difficult? Mamchiyo Vyabacharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate. No, Dhurachya, yeah, Mama Viye Prapajante. That's the rest of the verse. Mama Yatam Taranti Te. Daiviye Shigurmai Mama Raya Mama Maya Dhurachya. It's very difficult, but Mama Eva Ye Prapajante. No, that's actually quite easy. It's quite easy because we have Krishna Kata. I was actually thinking about this. I was in the airplane, which I'm still in. As everybody could tell, I'm just haven't left the airplane yet. So I was in the airplane, so I picked up. I was thinking, what should I read? It's better than watching Spider-Man, I didn't want to watch Spider-Man. Anyway, so I picked, this is just me and my material consciousness. I picked up the Chaitanya Charitamrita Kindle, obviously. And I started to read about, it's from the Anjalila, about Rupa Goswami's writing of the Vidagdha Madhava and Alita Madhava, and I was asked to divide them into two different books. Originally, he was doing them as one book. And then he went to Jagannath Puri, and he had written the introductory verse from the Vidagdha Madhava or the Lita Madhava, I forget which one right now. And there was just so much nectar there that I just became absorbed in ecstasy. I mean, not that I was in Krishna Prema, but just by reading that, I just lost all, consciousness that I was in an airplane and just like looking, sometimes we're in the airplane and you're looking, when is this damn thing going to land? You look at, because you can't watch a movie, you actually just watch the map. Isn't it? You heard that experience? Oh my God, an hour more. I just forgot everything. So I think with Krishna Katha, especially Chaitanya Leela, is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful and very merciful. And so that was my experience. Of course, later on, when I stopped reading, I was in Maya again, but that's another story. So I think if we have Prabhupada's words and Prabhupada's books, there's so much nectar. And there's no reason to be in Maya. Okay.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Kriya Priti Manti Pasyanti Pan Vikayanti Chiranganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Namo Vishnu Pataya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Srimate Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Kuramani Vacha Renee Nivasesha Shunyavade Vasya Jagate Satadane Vasya Jagate Satadane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasade Gaurata Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasade Gaurata Vrinda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasade Gaurata Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya. Jaya Radha, Aganokyanana Radha, Aganokyanana Radha. Radha, Aganokyanana Radha, Aganokyanana Radha. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe. Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Paravaticharya. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sayam Kun Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Maturam Ki Jai Jagannath Swami Ki Jai Manavai Ki Jai Shivani Lasine Ki Jai. Jaito Darpanamarjanam Durdai Vamidri Shamika Trinada Peace and Ichena Roriva Sishna Amanida Manatena Kirtaniya Sadahasri Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaye Mamba Janmani Janmanishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Radhai Takitwaye Ainanda Tanuja Kingaram Patitam Mam Vishmay Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrasam Vachintaya Nayanam Galuda Shrutaraya Vadanam Gadgara Rudya Gira Ulaka Nichitam Babukada Tava Namagrahane Bhavishyati Jugai Tam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravashayitam Shunyayitam Jagad Sarvam Govinda Vidahiname Asli Shabapadab Vanashtumam Darshanam Armatam Karotava Yatatata Bhavadatu Lampato Mat Prananatas Dusevanapraha. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen to the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda,